And at the end of the day, the only color they're focused on is green, and who are going to bring the dollars to these films. And in particular, that's what a number of these producers and directors are saying. Hey, the reason we're using Matt Damon
That's another one.
as the lead in the story called The Great Wall, which is clearly about China and a Chinese story, and the fact that you decide to use a predominant, very well-known, world-renowned actor, but you could have gone another way. And I think that there are a lot of times you're just really missing the mark. You have the opportunity to give an amazing platform for one of these Asian and African actors, and they just don't do it. It's interesting. The United States has a history of division, and if we haven't had the opportunity to learn from our past and heal, there was a lot of talk after the election of Barack Obama in 2008 that we were entering a post-racial society, and there was a lot of hope. I didn't necessarily buy that we were post-racial. I think that throughout his presidency, we saw the vile and evil racist remarks reared towards him, as well as his wife and his family. And I think now we're seeing the manifestation of over 200 years of division. We all know that Boko Haram is still waging a drastic war on civilians in particular. Most recently, people, think of them when they kidnapped the Chibok girls back in 2014. But the reality is that they've been slow moving, they've been consistent with their attacks, normally small, which is why they're not getting a lot of international news, but they're still terrorizing civilians in that region. And at the moment, the Nigerian government is challenged on how to exactly stop them and to cease. They've had a series of conversations going back and forth for peace, and unfortunately, none of those have resulted in anything substantial. So 2018 looks to be, while they have been quiet for the moment, I expect them to make a resurgence, unfortunately, sometime this year. On the one hand, I think that sentiment is great, right? We need to make sure that Americans are getting back to work. The reality is that where our nation and where our world is we're highly skilled, we're highly technical, and unfortunately, we just don't have the numbers to fill those positions. And again, I mentioned that goes back to an education issue. I think coding, right, that's a very small step, looking at elements of STEM, computer science, making sure that young people, everything from elementary all the way up through their university years, are majoring in these types of fields, because those are where the jobs are. They are in that science, technology, engineering, and math. And we, unfortunately, at this point, don't have enough to fill them.